Ta-da!
Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming in Lund, Sweden. For today's video, we are going to be playing day 23 of Battle for the Borderlands. This will be the first of our semi-final matches, and we will be playing between the Swordmasters of Hoeth and the White Lions of Chrace. A bit of a tragic match because we are pitting brother against brother in a civil war among the elves and the elven race. Let's go ahead and take a look at the warbands and take a look at the board. For our first warband today, we have 100 points of the Swordmasters of Hoeth. They are led here by their leader, Meldas the Seeker. And he is a blade lord who has Drog's Decapitator, a two-handed killing blow special rule in case he gets into combat with the other leader. Joining him now we have two other dogs of war, one with a regimental standard, and the other one has Elgrobus's Mask of the Fearsome Renown, which gives him fear, or causing fear. In addition to them, we have four other sword masters over here, and they have great weapons, heavy armor for 5+ save. So there you go, our first warband, 100 points of the Swordmasters of Hoeth. For our second band now, we have 100 points of the White Lions of Chrace, using the white dice today. They are led here by their leader, Thelanin the Paragon, and he has the Dashing Cloak of Heroic Renown, which gives him the 5+ regeneration rule. He is joined by two dogs of war. One is an archer who has the Last Chance, which doubles the range of the weapon and allows for automatic wounds when hit. And finally, we have one more dog of war with the spiky shoulder plates, which gives the impact hits 1 special rule. Now they are joined here by two normal spearmen, two additional white lions, and one more archer. And there you go, 100 points of our White Lions of Chrace. Here is the battlefield we will be playing on today, a standard 4-foot by 4-foot ice-themed battlefield. And we can say that this is an old abandoned mining town with a city center here. You can see they used to mine crystals, but some tragic event has led to this place being deserted. It is here that we will have High Elf versus High Elf matching one another in something of a civil war. Well, let's go ahead and roll off to see who deploys first. White Lions with the white and the Swordmasters with the blue. Tie. And it will be the Swordmasters deploy first. Here's the Swordmaster deployment. They are choosing this side, which was pretty strategic. They're depriving the archers of that high position up there by that orb. And they're just lined up here, basically both sides of their battle standard bearer. And that was where they will start off the game. Running over to the other side, we also have these guys positioned here in a line surrounding their leader. And they're kind of banking on getting the first turn, so hopefully they're able to get into that building. So there you go, that's the deployment. Let's go ahead and roll to see who gets to begin. White Lions deploy second, so on a 1 to 5, they choose who goes first. And they will go first themselves. White Lions, turn 1. All right, we've got no charges to declare. We're gonna leave our archers perched over here, and we're just going to go ahead and march these guys up into that building. And there's their final position, nicely nestled inside of that building. Remaining moves, let's go ahead and we'll slide these guys up there 5 inches and so we can shoot with them. Same thing with this guy, let's bring him up as well. 5 inches right there. End of the movement phase, let's go ahead and take some shots. Let's have both of these guys take a shot at the BSB right there in the middle. And as you can see, they both have a clear line of sight. Long range, hitting on 4s, 2 hits. And wounding on 4s, nothing. All right, that's it for the turn for the White Lions. Let's run over here and take turn 1 for our Swordmasters. All right, we're gonna play this a little tactical here. We have some pretty long charges, so we're not gonna charge with any of these. Let's go ahead now and do some final movements, move them up to the average charge range of the White Lions. On second thought, I think we're going to actually try to outflank them. We're going to take this whole unit and slide it over into this area. Alright, there's their final positions there. They are outside of the average charge range of the White Lions, which would have a long charge to make it from there. And now, hopefully, we are going to be out of the line of sight of those archers. Most of them, they'll be able to shoot on one or two of those guys here. So we'll see if this is going to be an effective strategy. End of the turn now for the Swordmasters. Let's move over to turn 2 for the White Lions. Alright, I'm not quite sure what to do here for the White Lions. This is going to be difficult. Well, let's not make any charges either, and let's go ahead and try and split these guys up. We'll send one group this direction, and we'll send one group the other direction, and see if we can force them, put a little pressure on them. Alright, we took a bit of a White Lion formation here. Now we're going to try and bait them out. Over on this side, we've got our White Lion, who is leading the charge there, our leader. And over on the other side, we've got a White Lion leading our 2 spearmen. Now, they are within the average charge range, so we're going to force the Swordmasters to make a decision here. Let's go ahead and move our archers as well. And we want to move them, but not march them, so we can still fire some shots. And let's put them in a position here now where we can be able to see them still without having our other guys to contend with. And there's our final position among the crystals. Right over that hill, we have a line of sight onto that Swordmaster. Let's go ahead and take some shots. Long range and having moved, we're hitting on 5s. There's 1 hit. Wounding on a 4, and there's a wound. This is huge now. 5+ armor save, no, and a 6+ deflect shots ward, no. So this guy over here is killed by 1 arrow, which means we're going to have to take some panic tests here. All right, let's measure 6 inches out. We are going to have to take a test for all 3 of these guys. And we have an 8 on a reroll. Let's start with this guy. 8 on a reroll. Got it with a 7. Second. 9, but no, rerolling. He gets it with a 6, and our banner, and gets it with a 5. So pretty successful shooting. That brings us to the end of the turn now for the White Lions. Let's go ahead and go to Swordmasters, turn 2. All right, we're going to take the bait and declare some charges. Let's go ahead and send this guy. We're going to see if we can get him past the first White Lion into that spearman. He will hold. And let's send all 3 of these into the White Lion. He will hold, hold, hold. And over here, let's go ahead and try some charges here as well. Let's send this guy into the White Lion. He will hold. And this guy into the White Lion. He will also hold. All right, the moment of reckoning. We need to show a 6 here and an 8 on him. So let's start with this guy. A 6. Oh, and he just gets it with a 6. So he will go crashing in. Next guy, we need an 8. Here we go. And he gets it with a 10. So he will also make the charge. 2 charges in that combat. Over here now, we need to roll a 6 to get him in. No, he goes forward too. Next, for this guy, we need to roll a 5 to get him in. And oh, he just made it with a 5, so we'll put him right there. Our leader has an incredible movement of 7, so he will definitely get in with a 12. And our last guy, we need to show a 6, and he fails, so he's going to go ahead 2 as well. And there you see our 2 failed charges and our 2 successful charges. Okay, 2 combats, 1 combat here and 1 combat over here. Let's go ahead and start with this one on our Elf versus Elf Civil War. Alright, these are going to be interesting combats because they have both great weapons, identical initiatives, so they'll be attacking at the same time. The difference is that we have these Swordmasters have a higher weapon skill, but the White Lions have a stronger toughness, or excuse me, strength, identical toughness of 3, so this will be interesting, pretty fair. Let's go ahead and start out with our Swordmasters. 4 attacks now, here we go, hitting on 3s. And there are 3, wounding on 2s. 2 wounds. Now our leader here has a 5+ ward, so let's take 2 saves on 5+. No, he fails both, but he'll be able to attack back before that. So here we go, hitting on a 4. No. So we lose our leader. Boom, he goes down. Panic test for those 2. 8. No, and we are not within a banner. We don't even have a banner, so he's going to flee. How far? 10 inches. Second guy. Oh, 10. He also fails. Goodness, he's going to go 3. These guys are going to overrun. What an incredible turn of events here. That guy's now 10 inches out there fleeing. This guy only went 3. Both of these guys are going to overrun. If they go 6 inches, either one of them, they will overrun into him and take him out. So let's start with this guy on the left, overrunning 7 inches. Yes, he's going to catch him, and the other guy will then go 7 inches as well. So there's their final position, having cut down that fleeing white lion, and now we have these two who are facing off against the archer here and this fleeing guy here. What an incredible combat for the Swordmasters. Let's run over now to the next combat. Okay, same thing this combat. Let's have our 2 Swordmasters start 2 attacks each, hitting on 3s, and we have 3 hits, wounding on 2s. And we got 2 wounds, so that is enough to kill that guy. Now he's going to get a chance to come back. Coming back, hitting on a 4. Yes, wounding on a 2. Got it. And that is way too strong for his armor, so both of these guys are going to go down. This guy here, the Swordmaster, our leader, will overrun, no problem, and he will come crashing into this guy. And of course, panic test for this spearman there. 7, he makes it. That's the end of the turn for the Swordmasters. Incredible round there. They knocked out 3 white lions, including the leader, and 1 more guy, and they will be below the breaking point. So let's go over here now and flip us over to game turn 3, and now we have the white lions, chance to take some revenge. Charges to declare. Yeah, we got a charge here with this guy, so we will send him in like that. So there's that combat. No more charges, but we are going to go have and try to rally this guy with his compulsory moves. And he does rally, so let's turn him around. That'll be the end of the movement phase. Let's go ahead and take some shots off. We're going to shoot with these 2 guys right here. And we'll start out by shooting 1 guy into here with his special last chance rule. And we'll see how that goes, and then we'll shoot the other guy over there. Okay, here we go. We are going to be hitting on a 3 with a weapon skill 4. We haven't moved short range. If we hit, it's an automatic wound with our last chance. Here we go. No! And we'll have this guy over here also shoot, hitting on a 3. He hits. Wounding on a 4. No. Alright, that was a little lackluster shooting phase. I was hoping for a little bit more. Let's run over here now to this combat. Okay, let's start with our Blade Lord here. 3 attacks. Hitting on 3s, and we will be wounding on 2s, and there are 2 wounds. Hitting at the same time now, so coming back, hitting on 4s, nothing there, but they have always strike first, so we get 1, wounding on a 4, and that is a 5. We've got a 5+ heavy armor save. He gets it. So this is pretty huge now. That means both of these spearmen are gone, which means now that the white lions have dropped below their threshold, so they will have to now roll on the next round. That brings us to the end of the white lions' turn. Not a very successful turn for them. We had hoped for more from the archers. That combat was really sad too. So let's run over here now and have the Swordmasters turn 3. Charges to declare. Alright, charges. Let's go ahead and declare a charge onto here, and he will hold. Let's just roll it off for the sake of safety. Yep, no problem. He gets in. Second, let's declare a charge with this guy onto that archer, and he will do a stand and shoot. 3s, but hitting on a 4 because of stand and shoot? No. So he successfully charges in like that. Alright, let's go ahead and take these combats. Let's start here with the archer and the Swordmaster. We have 2 attacks now, hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s. Yes, but he will get a chance to come back. Coming back on a 4? No. So this guy goes down. Leadership test now for this guy right here. And he passes with a 6. This guy will stay put. Next one over here, we've got 3s and 2s. So yes, and wounding on 2s. There are 2. White lion coming back, hitting on a 4. There's a hit, wounding on a 4. No. Oh, so that white lion also goes down. We're going to go ahead now and turn this guy over this direction, facing into that archer. And here are how things are standing right now. We've got 3 Swordmasters over here. The only white lion we have left is this little archer here, facing down 2 Swordmasters on this side. We're going to have to go ahead now and roll for the white lions and see if that little guy is going to break. Road test on a leadership 8. And that's a 10. That is appropriate anyway because there's no way that little archer would have been able to take on the rest of those guys. So with that roll, the white lions are defeated by the Swordmasters of Hoeth. Okay, rolling now for upgrade. Our leader here gets an incredible +3. So Meldas the Seeker will get +3 to this 2d6 roll. Ooh, and that's looking good. 10, 13. That will be Living Legend. Your leader may gain either +1 wound, +1 attack, +1 strength, or +1 toughness. Tough choice here. Let's go ahead and give him +1 attack. So now he has 4 attacks. With that win, now the Swordmasters of Hoeth move on to the finals, in which they will take on the winners between the Savage Orcs and the Miners. That game between the Savage Orcs and the Miners, the last semifinal game, will be our next game before we move into the final match. So please stay tuned for that and join us for that exciting game. Thank you for joining us here today at Grey Army Gaming, where Grey can always play.